Okay, I'm going to build me a interior feeder for my top bar hive. Uh, First thing you need to do is you actually get your angle of your side walls, which I use just angle tool here to get one. Okay, now you want to set your saw blade to the angle you had for the inside of your top bar hive. Okay, after we made the initial angle cut on one side, the opening on the base of my top bar is 5.5 inches. So we're going to go from the bottommost edge 5.5 inches over and make a mark on there. Now what we're going to do is make that mark up around the top so you know where it's at. And now we got the line up. We've got to line up our mark. I can't do it one-handed. I'll line up that second mark and make that cut. Okay, next I took a 2-inch wide 1x scrap that I had, and I cut the same angles and cut 2 pieces that go on either side of the base that I originally put together. It hasn't been nailed or anything yet, but that's just to show you how it's going to be set up. The last cut would be your 1/4-inch piece of plywood on top, and you can see I've marked out the circle where the hole will be cut for your jar lid. That'll fit down there. If you got a hole saw that's the right size, it'll be a lot easier. I don't. I'll just drill a couple holes, and I'll take a coping saw and go around and cut it out. Take my little Dremel and widen it, or if it needs to be, just so it sits nice and snug when the jar sits in there. Okay, last I'm going to take a piece of number 8 material cloth. I'm going to cut a square. It's going to be like 5.5, 5 3/4 inches length of this, and also it'll fold down on the back side to cover the hole on one side. And I'm just going to take my nail gun and staple gun, whatever, and staple it all together. And I'll once I put the material cloth on there and I got the hole drilled, then I'll nail this to it, and you pretty much have your feeder put together. Okay, once you get it all put together, you want to mark just a line on top where your opening is on either side. Then you can go ahead and put it down against your follower board and make that mark match up on your follower board like this. I've already done this, so I'm just showing you. Then you'll take your coping saw or whichever saw, whatever saw you use to cut out a hole with, and you make your measurements and make your square rectangle and cut it out. So when you set your follower board in there and your feeder, you actually come up with a bee-proof, bee solid area. Nothing can get in here, no bugs. You'll have it covered, and they can only get into the area where they feed, right there on the top. To make it easier to change feed, instead of putting all those top bars back on, I just have a piece of plywood that I'll put, and it's just one piece off, and you're right at the feeder. As a side note, I checked all over the place trying to figure out exactly what people use to make their holes in their lids, and it's what I did, and seems to work fine. They love my food I give them. But I just sit around, take a hammer and tap it one time, let it go right on through, make about 15 holes or so.